Yes, AirPods dying. Let me switch this up. Good to go. We would have codec and that. Switch this up. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Okay. Put that there. Put the speaker there. Yeah, that's perfect. Actually, no. Let's do it fully. All right. Good morning. All right. I know it's been a while since I have been streaming. Long story short, my actual PC that I did a lot of my streams for the past 4.5 years has completely and utterly destroyed itself. No, I'm just joking. That's destroyed. But the motherboard went out, won't power on, no matter how much I tried. And I was forced to go purchase a PC. If you notice, it has a little Apple logo up top. I don't know if you can see all that, but maybe I can. Maybe I can't. Whatever the case may be. But I had to go ahead and get myself a Mac Mini just to stave off the pressures. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. Also, the Trading Journal is out. If you want to support this channel, go ahead and take a listen. Put it to your playlist. Stream it daily. It will retool your trading mindset. I promise you that. And if it doesn't, then you have bigger problems. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. All right, so let's go ahead and get right to it. If you haven't been on my Discord, I just went ahead and sent out the link for anyone. If you want to jump in from the Discord side, by all means, you can do so as well. Um, let's talk. Let's talk in its totality. There's so much that has happened in the market. And we're probably going to be on till about, let's aim for like 10:15, 10:30 max. That way I can take my normal trades in itself. But I want to kind of like break things down. Listen, folks, um, one thing I want to kind of explain to y'all, it's very important that you understand what the charts are. For days, I've been watching all the talking heads, and you already know I'm in YouTube space, and I'm just hearing they're like, well, if it holds this, then it should go here, and this is a key level, and we're gonna bounce. And I wish it was just that easy for you to hear someone say, hey, it's going to do this and it's going to do that. I really wish it was that simple. I do think that you still have to have some philosophy, some structures that you feel comfortable with. That way you can be able to take certain trades to protect yourself from any of the potential chaos that can actually happen. What does that mean? Well, the first thing I want you to bring to your attention is that I started this thing called one entry, one shot, right? Shout out to everybody that preceded this, everybody that ever gave me a platform for me to be able to understand what it is I want to give back to the community and how I wanted to be perceived along the way. And if it wasn't for them, I would not be where I am today with my site one entry one shot and the Discord one entry one shot. Now, if anybody knows, I never wanted to do a Discord. I did not want to get into this part of the space. I wanted to take trades and I wanted to help people elevate. That's what I wanted to do, but unforeseen circumstances has presented itself, and I accidentally tripped and landed into this. You're probably going to doubt me. Well, you monetizing this and that. It costs money to run servers. It costs money to release albums. It costs money to even make these content. And I do well. I really do well. I don't need the money. I do this because I wish I found something that could have made it clearer for me. That's everything that I've done is for the local new trader that is about to give up and doesn't know what they want to do with their trading career. I'm here to try to save that. Trading is a very lucrative business, but I promise you it's not for everyone. And what I don't want to happen is everybody think it's not for them, but they just had bad guidance, bad teaching, bad synopsis. That's my goal. So I'm not going to be the one to tell you, hey, try trading. It's a guarantee. Not that. And if anyone ever tells you that, all they want to do is sell you something else. Do I have subscriptions? I do. But my free content is just as good as most people's paid bull. I'm just telling you this right now. It doesn't sound a little arrogant. Cool. I'll take it. I'll own it. But I'm just telling you this right now. I know what I'm doing, and I wish you the best. That said, enough for the intro. I want to go ahead and kind of recap some of the trades that I released throughout the day because it was a plethora of trades in that regard. So first one is going to be in the NQ on the 5 minute. This one is one of the shorter trades in itself, and it basically said around 9:35 because it just happened so fast. And normally I do not release anything at nine. Well, this is Friday. Let's get to Thursday. I don't release anything at 9:30 because of the potential chaos that can ensue in that regard. Because the last thing I want to do is put people in a position where the volatility is more than your stop loss can handle, and 9:30 is usually that. But I had to release this. So this was a continuation short. We're looking for an entry at 24096.5. Focus on that number, 24096.5. That's what I was looking for. The TP would have brought it to 39. The TP2 would have been under the 24,000 at 953. And the stop loss was at 130. And there's a reason why I want to key off on this. This was the first trade. It was very high risk. I think I made a note of that. Does my note show up here? No, it doesn't show up here. All right. So I made a nice little note on that explaining what that could ensue. And guess what ended up happening? It exactly did that, right? It did exactly that to the point that it pushed all the way up into that upper register. And when it pushed up to that upper register, what ended up happening? It hit that 130 and pushed that 130. It went past the 130. It kidnapped everybody past the 130. But that does not mean that we have a pure reversal. I think this was a sweep of liquidity, aka most people will call it manipulation. Let me maximize this out a little bit. And that didn't really come to fruition. I know we're going to get into opening range and the opening market, but I want to kind of point all these out before I get to it. We're going to go through this entire list, right? And if we're looking at and being very objectively driven, right? Um, just because my entry is at 96, which would have been around this level here, let me go ahead and make sure it is 24096.5, right? That was the entry. I am selling anything that's below that, but it was just sweeping liquidity until they just could not sweep any further. And then that's when it kind of tried to fight to get below this level. Now, here's the fun part behind this, right? When we get a nice little push here, they use this level over and over until it completely collapsed and they never looked back ever since. So this is what I kind of want to point out. Whatever signal that's out there, understand it needs to give you a close below. That was at 9:35 that this signal came in. It was released out at 9:40. So I waited to get confirmation. At 9:40, roughly around this area, it tried to make that move. So there is our 935 extension. There was a long wick right here. If we take this out, we should be good. So this was a short win or a short loss if you had possible proper risk management, because that 130 is right here and that was just above that high, right? But it does not mean price doesn't revisit. The same place that was an entry was acting as support. Same place that was entry was acting like resistance. They were trying to determine where it wanted to go. And that's what we have to do whenever we look at trades. All right. So that is the game for that one. I want to talk about GDX. GDX was fine dining. So that was built possibly on a 2 hour. Let me get those alerts out the way. All my things is triggering, but we're going to go through this whole thing. It's going to be quick from this point on. I promise. I promise. All right. So GDX, we were looking for something on Thursday. and that was at 10 o'clock. It was released at 12:38. I was a little late. I was a little late. I was running around and everything else, but for the most part, those that are part of my market dominance beta team, you already have access to this. Just go click your indicator so that way you can go ahead and see this. You don't have to wait for my alerts itself. For those that are not part of my beta team, guess what? You're gonna have to wait for me to release it. I don't know what I want to do with that indicator, but again, my beta team, you still have access. You will forever have access. If it wasn't for you, I would not know the trials and tribulations of this. It works well. Anyways, move on. So this was that 10 o'clock candle. This would have been our entry. Here's our confirmation. Not only did we come off a red candle, we failed to reverse or sweep the liquidity, putting in a fair value gap, right? So the entry was anything that was under here. Oops, hold on. My bad. I'm way too far. I saw Thursday and I ran with it. I apologize. I apologize. All right, where's Thursday? All right, there it is. Thursday, 10 o'clock. Okay. All right. Right. So this was a reversal. That's why I was like, wait, something not right here. Um, let's go ahead and draw this out. And this was a reversal. This is what we were looking for. So GDX was looking for that reversal to happen where 8401 right there, 8139 right there, and DP2 is down at 7947. Can it get down to here? Yeah, absolutely. But we could see pre-market, I will be still shorting this thing because we never hit the TP1. So look for gold to go down a little bit lower because fine dining is for swing trades and you would have got in roughly inside of here, either based on these parameters here. Actually, I might take a stab at this. Yeah, because we may get the fair value gap fill all the way down to this level. So keep an eye on GDX for some potential to play to the downside in that regard. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, what else I got for y'all? This one was GDX. We already know I did all that late, so let's go UNH. How much time I have? All right, I got to speed up a little bit. All right, same thing. We had a nice little push to the upside. That thing is relatively failing to do that. That inch, oh, we're almost to TP1. Almost to TP1. Look at that UNH drop. Now, the funny thing about UNH is that Warren Buffett's company is inside of here. So this could be them just bringing price down lower so they can get a better price to push back up. So be careful with this. I would say stick with TP1. I don't know if I would take the TP2 so heavily as well. Again, these are all based on 2 hours. Silver, I want to say, is also on the 2 hour. I do have a couple of 4 hours here and there. I think it's crypto and you know what? There's a reason why I do these things. Let me just go ahead and look at what I announced at the time when I did this. All right. It's crypto only. That's what it is. Okay. All right. So silver is still on the 2 hour. So same thing. Where's our Thursday 10 o'clock candle? If I'm not mistaken, silver. Yep, 10 o'clock. So Thursday, 10 o'clock, Thursday. That was this one right here, right? 8 o'clock. Signal goes out at 10. Then that means they completed the candle. So we got to get the 8 o'clock candle because it's from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock that this happened. All right. So we got our entry on here, but you can see what came back to our entry. Again, look for silver to the downside. Even though we sweep this, but stay tight. I would say halfway to stop. Maybe 69.20 is still good, but that's going to be a little bit riskier, especially that they swept the sell side liquidity. This thing can turn into a double bottom real fast, so just be careful there. But right now we're at entry. I won't be surprised that silver goes lower. Look for it to get to 66.30. That should be where we would be aiming for. All right. Netflix, fine dining as well. This is 2 hours. Netflix, we got ourselves Thursday right there. Oh, they swept the sell side liquidity. That was just very disrespectful. But again, this is what we're looking for. Oh, wait a minute, it's not disrespectful. They never gave us an entry. This is all positioning happening, folks. So look for this. to reject these areas, which is already started rejecting those areas. And why are you bothering me, telephone? Silence, right? And we need an entry under 91.97. But listen, right here. Oh, actually, this was reversal on Thursday. Let me slightly different. Let me make sure I'm getting this right. Thursday. Oh, I picked the 10 o'clock candle. When are you? We are as of 10 o'clock. Slight difference here. I wonder if that got extended. I might have to fix that because that might be a little bit of an issue. No, I don't think so. No, it's still extended. All right, let me fix the problem real quick. Bear with me. 8 to 10. That would have been there. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong spot. That's why. 91.97 for the entry. 89.97 is the TP1. And then TP2. I thought that was my entry. And take profit two, stop loss. All right. Anyways, so that looks perfectly fine. So wait for 91.97 to actually fail and hold below before you go ahead and take a stab at it. All right. That is Netflix. IWM. I know people are looking at the Russell because everybody usually do a flight to safety, and the Russell is one of those. Oh, look at that. That is so beautiful. As you notice, everything here is saying short, 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 except for oil. Very interesting. All right, but this one already hit TP1 today. So I think this is already over. If you're not already in it, leave it the hell alone. I think they're going to make the Russell drop very, very far so that way they can pick it up off the ground as we get more domesticated as far as our investments, especially onshoring some of the jobs that is coming. So keep an eye on things like the Russell and the small caps, because this can make some very, very major moves along the way. Okay, so just be extremely patient. All right, folks. All right, what else we got here? I got GBP USD. GBP USD. Oh, there we go. All right, same thing. Now, the British pound has a inverse relationship to the dollar, just like the market, right? I love charting the GBP. Oh, that was a nice one too. Look at that. Entry here, entry here. Should have got into that one. I love charting this because it goes against the dollar just to get a sense of what's going on that side. With the bounce that's going to happen with here, it probably put pressure on the dollar, making us get a full push up in the market. But you can see we're breaking certain structures. If this fails this structure, look for the US dollar to strengthen up, putting pressure on all equities and commodities, including your gold, folks. UNH, more fine dining. We're sticking with the 2 hour. This was UNH's extension of their same regard, right? So this one was the reversal. So if you had missed it, here is your continuation. And that continuation was built off of this candle here, right? This candle closed at 12. And we're looking for, oops, I'll take that back. Got to get that out the way because this was a reversal. So now we are looking like this, and this is a continuation, not a reversal. So our entry would have been inside of here. Oh, wow. Look at that. It already hit the TP1 over there versus the way this one very muscled in. So think of it this way, right? Those that are in the reversal game, guess what? They got to be a little bit more cautious. But sometimes the signal kicks in for those that are there, kind of like this tweezer top, and their entry is here, bringing price to where the entry is for those, and they're going to probably start putting it in for their TP1, those that played the reversal. That's why you get these sweeps of liquidity and then it just takes right back off. So I want to see what it does with this TP2 because those that were in were already in, and those that were in for here, they're taking off the TP1. Let me bring it back so you can see what I mean, right? They're getting ready to get out of that position for TP1. Meanwhile, these already took their position off and they are waiting for this to happen. Everybody's probably going to start piling out at the TP2. So just be careful with this one if you're trying to chase the cat. Remember, it always scratches back. All right, Coinbase. Now, this one was relatively annoying. I kind of walked away from this one because I wanted to short it a long period of time ago, and it was doing a lot of funny things. This is continuation. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Wrong one. I did that on the green candle when I was supposed to be doing on the red candle. All right. So this was a nice little entry right here at that 174. We're already hitting the TP1, aiming for the TP2. Folks, have y'all seen a really bad trade yet? No? No, yeah, this was happening all yesterday. Sign up for OEOS. You'll find the link down in the description later on when I finally get to it. But yes, OEOS scalping is on steroids in the middle of this climate. As I finally dissected how I want to show you all this stuff. Anyway, let me go ahead and keep this going. We got CVX. CVX long. Now, oil is a little overjuiced, so we are going to make some mistakes here and there. The entry was here, hit the stop loss. It does happen. But the spin the block is in place right now. Can it hold? Can it get to TP1? Very possible. But again, we already know oil as a whole is overheated. So technically, this is a high risk trade. But if it does hold, we'll probably get up into that 211, and our TP2 was sitting at 215. All right, we want to keep on going. We got a quite, when I say quite a bit, got quite a bit to go through in itself. Is it 45 yet? Okay, let me speed up. I'm gonna speed up here. This is the fast dash right now. We're gonna get right through it. So casual dining is my 45 minute for some tickers, and some of it is 1 hour. But right now we're talking about NQ. I got it on the 45 minute, which is my favorite time frame. It's just personal preference. Find your favorite time frame when it's all said and done, because not everything is all equal. Just to let y'all know. Anyways, so if we look at this, this was a continuation play from here, and the entry was here, and then peaked out right back to the entry after hitting that TP, and then we got ourselves the TP2 right here. That is current price action that's pushing today based on the parameters that were set from the 45 minute on yesterday. Let's go over to IWM. Same thing, 45 minute. All right, so this one right here, let's go ahead and erase all of these just so I can get a clean chart. And that 45 minute kicked in. Where are you, IWM? We are talking about 1 p.m. 1 p.m. on Thursday, right there. Bang. Look at that. Entry. Did they sweep the liquidity overnight? They did, but there was nothing you could do about it. But guess what? You're at TP1. Seems like you would have been in a heart palpitation with no control. It is what it is. But if you still stuck with it, and you can see this is after hours. Bang. TP1. Probably could get that to TP2 at 244, which is coinciding with the one I spoke about earlier. Let's go over to Tesla. Tesla's in fine dining, so we're going to go over to the 2 hour chart. Fine dining, 2 hours. All right, so we got ourselves Tesla on the 2 hour. That would have been Tesla at 2 p.m. Here's our 12 o'clock candle right there. Bang, just like that. Oh, right to TP2. If you took some Tesla overnight, you are excited. So don't say I never gave y'all anything. Time logged. Showed y'all. Told you I got this. Anyways, moving on. NQ, 2 hour. Crazy day. Crazy, crazy. I can't delete all. I just remember that. I might mess up something. Okay, I'm fine. Don't want to mess up all my drawings. I got them locked. Oh, do I have all of them locked? Yeah, I did have all of them locked. All right, perfect. All right, so 2 hour NQ. Oh, I got to speed up fast. Faster, Jeff. 2 p.m. That's this one right there. Entry under here. Heart palpitations, because especially if you're in futures, that was a nasty little push up right there. But that reversal right back down here under 2381. If you got in at 2 a.m., you're winning. Winning. All right, let's go ahead and keep this going. We got QQQ. QQQ is going to be very similar to what's going on with NQ because they follow it all the same. And you can see right there, same thing. TP1. SPY. Oops, SPY. Yeah, I was teaching a class. Smart money does not is institutionals. If you want to get some knowledge, I do free classes quite frequently. You want to catch some of that. All right, just like QQQ. AVGO. This one, now, AVGO, I am a little mad at myself because I was a little impatient. Technically, it was supposed to be a continuation. I do say that. I really thought, because when we got to here, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. I was trying to be preemptive and I was like, Jeffrey, there's no way that everything is a short. Watch this. It was coming up to 4 o'clock. And at 3:30, it looked like it was planning a reversal. It really did. It looked like a push. It did not. So if you came back in, you licked your wounds here, and then you came back because of the parameters that was set here. Of course, that's post market. If you're in the share side, that could have been your spin of the block to play down to the downside. Shout out to my beta team. Keep this going. UNH. Gotta go do open range. UNH. It's so massive of a move that even this is happening. So when y'all saw that institution, smart money and dumb money, this is where dumb money tends to kind of get caught up in. Look at that, hits TP1 right there in itself. But this one was a good retracement right back into it and come back down. But guess what? These are the late folks. They got in at 2 o'clock on this drop. They got in here. They're probably one of the first ones taking their profits with the ones that was doing the reversal and waiting, and those that was here, and those that was here, and so on and so on. So massive, massive, massive pullback. I'm anticipating right here at this 265 level because that is a lot of people's TP spots. Might trail them a little bit in that regard. All right, let's keep this going. Memu, I did put this as a reversal, and they swept the liquidity being disrespectful. Here's our reversal, but here's something fun, folks. It's reversal, but it has to get to the entry. Folks, it's just now getting to the entry. In 12 minutes, we're going to get a close above here. Look for MU to get back to 372. I think the selling is over. So this could be a nice little setup and entry for you to go ahead and take a trade. Keep this going. NQ, right back at it again. This one is not, this is fast food. Oh, this was towards the end of the day. This is when I was kind of tossing some quick scalps out there. Oops, 5 months, 5 minute. All right. I was throwing some quick scalps out there so that way people can get some opportunities. And they were there. They were there. Let's see how well this worked out. So this is a 5 minute that came in at 2:30. It's 2:30 right here. That is beautiful, folks. That is our continuation, not reversal, continuation. Got to the edge of TP2. Edge of TP2. Let's keep this going fast. The same with SPY. That was 305. But the funny thing about this one, it kind of ran a little bit before that actually happened. But you can see this is 305. Where's 305? Thursday, 305. Did I release it right after? 305 and 308. Where are you? Oh, 3 is 15. I'm at the wrong time. There we go. 305. Bang, bang, bang. TP2. Boom. Done. Let's look at the last SPY was at 355. Now, this one was just me being, let's call it the hot hand fallacy. I was like, yo, everything is hidden. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see if I can pull off something that is freaking disrespectfully and everything else. I technically told everybody to get in here for the TP2 for here, right? But then this pops up at this point, and I think some people probably upset at me. But if you stuck with it, you're happy at this point. I was just firing. I'm not gonna lie. I was just firing off. I listen, out of all the trades, the only trade that was off was the AVGO trade, and that was because I was being a little bit egregious and trying to plan a little early. But after that, out of 22 trades, I was correct on about 20, and then the other 12, 19, and the other two, they're still in motion where they haven't touched the TP1. Sounds like a win, win, win. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the opening range. And let me not start. Let me stop smelling my own crap, right? Let's go ahead and have some fun and let's see if we can find some good trades here. If you don't know, I love playing the opening range breakout. That is like my go-to for the most part. But I did create an indicator called market dominance. It is not released to the public as of yet. I don't know if I want to release it. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I do feel like I did a lot of work, studied the market quite a bit, and I just wanted to make sure I had something I can lean on. So depending on where I am in my career, maybe I'll release it. But for the most part, it's what powers my OEOS. So if you haven't signed up for OEOS, sign up today. It's very, very comprehensive. I will have better trade ideas. This is going to be more for long term. I'm not going to do any more day trades inside of here anymore. I'm going to be focusing on this. This is where you're going to find the day trades. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Oh, let me do this real quick because I haven't even looked at what's going on here. We got some scalp trades here at 9:35. Ethereum and Bitcoin. I do have a couple. Actually, you know what? Before I get into this opening range, I do have a lot of questions on Bitcoin itself. This is going to be based on the 4 hour. I think Bitcoin's coming down. It's coming down and it's coming down hard. I want to see something like this to happen. If you want to get in relatively early, this is what the early would look like. But I am not confirming that this is going to continue to the downside until 2 hours from now. So I got to wait for that. My goal is to give y'all safe trades, not to give you a whole bunch of possibilities because I don't want you to be part of liquidity. But when we close this, and if it does finish red, it's going to make me feel confident that we'll get some type of continuation. Now, it does not mean anything because last time when he had it pushed down like this, it finished red. They swept the liquidity, but guess what? That liquidity was false. It's almost like a bull trap pushing to go spring up a bear trap to push it right back down. And I think that's what we're going to be facing. I think the Bulls are now tired of being trapped. So we may get a continuation on this regard compared to the previous one before. So just be patient. Don't do nothing reckless. Plan your trades accordingly. The 70,000 level is probably going to be key. Same thing with Ethereum as well. This is what it looks like. And it's going to be very interesting on in the next 2 hours because that means lower prices on Bitcoin, more ways for institutions to hijack it. Sorry, and to invest into it. Don't get me started. So just plan your trades accordingly so that way you can be a sound and consistent profitable trader. Anyways, let's get back over to the NQ. And the 15-minute does look like this. We're getting to that lower register right now. So we're probably going to get a nice little continuation to the downside. But I'm going to be a little patient with this. Only reason I'm going to be patient is because we've made a massive drop to the downside. You can see this is just ridiculous of a drop, right? I can see that. And I don't want to end up falling into a bull trap as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of more so watch this Friday more than actually trade today. But I will be sending out some signals along the way as I see. Let's go ahead and get rid of all these except Ethereum because that's a work in progress. Too close to market open. I'm going to get rid of this. Everybody, let's see if anything pops off here. 5 minute looks very bearish right now. We're about to get a signal here. I may release that one out so that way it can get something going. Almost like we're sitting inside of a range that looks something like this, and they've kind of built a position there and they can't hold that. I want to be bold and just go ahead and call it, but we're too close to 23,500, which is a very key psychological level. Let me put my psych levels on, and I don't want to send y'all into a trap. And for now, OEOS's scalp is still free. I still have it there. You can have access to this without anything slowing you down. But there will be a day. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is just way too comprehensive, way too um fruitful for me to just sit it out there. My goal is to eventually increase the amount of tickers that's in there so that way we can be able to see certain trades or whatever the case may be. Oh, talking about that. I'm gonna put this link in the description. I am looking for people. Put in your votes. I want y'all to kind of chime in and give a sense of what type of tickets you want to see on this list. My list that I selected was Meta, Microsoft, and IBM. And the current leaderboard so far, we got 50 votes in here. There's CCJ, and CCJ has been in there for quite a bit. Meta's funny that Meta ended up being on this list as well because Meta, I felt like was overvalued. It was consolidated very deeply, and that's why I kind of put it on my list. But Microsoft and IBM, I've been keeping an eye on. I feel like Microsoft is weighing IBM down because IBM does not make their own software, but their hardware is powered by Microsoft itself. So we're probably dealing with that. That dark horse of TMU, whoever's putting that TM, did I put TMUSA? No, I did not. This thing just snuck up out of nowhere and is taking that position. So, yes, folks, go ahead and submit your votes as well. I'm going to go ahead. Actually, let me send y'all the link so you can go ahead and vote for your favorite tickers. Let's get that in there. Put that in the chat in more ways than one. Where are you? There you go. And put it in that chat. All right. Bye bye. And let me go put it on that other chat over the YouTube space. Vote. Vote for your favorite tickers. I'm telling you, I'm going to put it on the algo. The algo would then determine what's our sounds trades. Right now, this thing is breaking that 23,500. I'm about to release all these. I'm not gonna lie. Let's actually, how much time I got? Okay, let's run to SPY on the 5 minute. Let's see how this looks. Massive, right? Massive of a move to the downside. IWM, what does this look like? Massive move to actually, it's almost to that TP2, which is the part. This is the part that kind of scares me on getting. So this is gonna be a quick scalp. And I come to me like JD, well, you told me to short this, and I shorted it, and now you're the one that's over here holding with the with the Michael Jordan tears, talking about at the end of the day, I played it to the downside, I lost money. Right? This is going to be a quick scalp in the next 60 seconds. Let's go ahead and look at NQ because I'm about to release all three of them because it does look like we're going to make a nice little push to that downside. So patience, patience, patience. Oh, Step Brother's calling me. Give me a moment. All right, sorry about that. I had to go ahead and talk to my kid brother. He's getting into the whole trading space too, and he went ahead and took SoFi to the downside. So he's like ecstatic here. Yo, I got this one is Oh man, I love doing this. Anyways, so a couple of things popped in on quite a bit, right? We got some fine dining. We got CVX. Looks like we're going long on CVX. We got some coins coming down. So Tesla's coming down. So these are all ideas that could be coming out in the next few. Go sign up at OEOS or basically one entry one shot.com. That way you can see when it pops up. When you find sign up, you will see a very comprehensive report, and they do have expiration dates. So do not just jump into a trade and just think, all right, everything is nice, right? I want you to always plan your trades out. I designed it that way because it's for traders by traders, and that is the game plan. So this is a continuation play to the downside. And Q, we're looking for it to stay at the entry right? Our entry is going to be 2533.00. So it has to pull back quite a bit. So this is that place down to here. We're pushing ourselves back up. That means you wasn't supposed to enter because they said to enter, right? Now, if you're really, really good and you're more advanced, listen, I'm not telling you not to take a trade. Maybe you could play it up and then later on reverse. The goal is these are trade ideas. If you want to go ahead, you can click on this little button. It'll pull up the stock for you so you can chart it out yourself. It's up to you, but it is over in 41 minutes. If it hasn't touched the entry in 41 minutes, then that means it never gave an entry. It's now stale. Trade is done. Leave it alone. Do not force any trades. If it's running away like this, you have to make a pimp decision. It only stopped at 518. Maybe you go down to your lower time frame like a 1 minute and you find a reversal you feel comfortable with. That's okay too. But try to stick with the TP here because 44 is what they're aiming for, and we stopped at 53. That means we're playing the sweep of the liquidity here and playing it down to 44, and we're done. Can it get to 23,310? Absolutely, but it's higher risk. High risk comes with high reward. This is built on a 5 minute chart, so it does not guarantee anything. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a fiduciary. I am a guy that just puts a whole bunch of trade ideas together so it can be comprehensively understood for a trader that is aspiring to become one. So find your strategy, find your place, and here's a couple ideas in place for that. If you cannot play the future side, here is IWM. Contracts are relatively cheaper over there. Shares are relatively cheaper over there. And we're looking for this type of movement, right? Right here. Continuation right there. So a nice little push right back to 245.26 would be great. Now, the funny thing about this is that some of the smart money is already stepping in. They're waiting for this to break out. So they might be averaging here. They might be playing this. There might be some sweeper liquidities in the mix of here. So just be careful because we've been running for a while. The best trades are always good after coming off a consolidation. We had a deep consolidation here. Here's our break. Here's our retest. If this thing can get to 245 and it shows a reversal pattern or reversal thesis or whatever the case may be, that will be your entry. Your stop loss is right there, about 50, 60 cents above. All right. I'm giving you the plan. It's up to you. If you can just be patient and wait for it, don't get the FOMO. You're like, oh, well, Jeff, I see a red candle. We don't sell red candles. We buy red candles. Anyways, his SPY, same aspect. That's what it looks like. And we probably could get a nice little push again on this downside because I know people were waiting for that 50, 65, 650 to hold so bad. So I think there's a couple panicking motion that's going on here because you could kind of see that was our break retest in here. But how far does the rabbit hole go? We're thinking that it could get as low as 638.39, which is right there. We're almost there. We're almost there. So this retracement could be the momentum to kind of sweep the liquidity, get there. Is it strong enough to get to 635? Possibly. High risk, high reward. Let's run into some of the ones that I am looking at. and let's see how that looks like. And then we'll probably end it around 10:15. I already told you about BTC. We already know what the game is on that one. NQ, this was a fast dining on NQ, so let's see what that looks like. 5 minute. Oh, that was the one I was just pointing out, right? So we kind of had that move there, but now we're kind of looking at something like this. 476, nice little close here. Get the momentum, brings us into 429. But we already know some people going to take their profits at 444, which was the one on the last screen. I don't have that in front of me. Let's get this out the way. People going to take their profit off that 444. So if the momentum is right and everything flips, and we got ourselves a nice little move. Look for 476 to play this down to the downside. All right, what else I got here? That's if they sweep it, because that green candle is really throwing a monkey wrench. Yeah, almost like it want. I'm sorry, my mind moves a mile a minute. It almost looks like. Why did you not do the counter, not reverse? It almost looked like they're trying to hold this 500 level, which can be a problem. 504. If you're bullish and you want to play it to the 33, you can. But again, it's risky. We've been bearish the whole time. You're basically buying a red candle, which we do love in this case. But is the momentum against you? We don't know. So look for that 500 level. If you're going to play it to the upside, look below here at the entry, which would have been this original one, like that, which would be 476. You just play it down. All right. Let's see. What else I got for y'all? Fine dining is kicking in for here, but we just got a new candle in itself. Let's go ahead and lock in my orb. Let's go ahead and get us rid of psychological. Let's get rid of these for aesthetic purposes so we can see cleanly. Basically, what's happening here, it looks like we're dominating this way, and we are at the entry price at 493. So this 493 could be building up. This is where it gets very, very super tight as far as your stop loss and everything else. Anything under 493 could be the short. And then this your confluence as the 5 minute traders join the 2 hour traders, that joins the 4 hour traders, that joins the daily traders, that the weekly traders. That's what's happening here. So look for 493 as a level that could really put some pressure. There's no confirmation that this is going to stay red until 2 hours from now. So we'll see if that happens. That's a lot of red here. So it's not the highest of probability. So I probably would scalp this over and over and see if it holds. But let's see if there's any targets. Let me come up to a daily. Let's see if it'll be smooth or choppy. Like this is an order block here. We may have like a hard time getting anything lower without a proper retracement because we've just been dropping. The only thing is this whole entire cascade, because when we rounded this top like this and kind of kept on pushing, is this the one that's forcing us down? And if that's the case, then it doesn't matter what the order block is. There's just way too much strength behind it as we started breaking key levels. So keep that in mind. 493, short it over and see what happens. And that would be 493. TP would be 326. Don't go for TP2. Try go for just TP1. All right. All right, let's see. We got SPY on casual dining. That's the 45-minute SPY. Let's see what this looks like. Uh, hmm. We're looking at a possibility, something that looks a little bit like this. Entry under 639. Let's see. We got SPY fine dining. Same 630. So now the 5 minute is trying to build a case saying we're going to go down more. The 45 minutes saying, hey, we have ourselves a little bit of a problem. The 2 hours saying, hey, we would love to go down, but we've been running down for a while. And right now they all have that same 639 level. Look for 639 to 640 being support or resistance. Right now, we're probably going to go into a consolidation cycle, knowing that it's Friday and it could get real, real tricky very soon. All right, let's get out of all these spies and stuff. Let's go and get into some tickers. JPM. Now, JPM is looking for some short. Now, the funny thing about JPM is that I saw the shorts from before, then they kind of liquidated me, and then now it's showing it again. So this might be the hold here, kind of rejected of an order block that I had marked off over there. So look for something along the lines of this, and it might run off on the plug right now. I ain't gonna lie, because it's been trying to come down. So look for 286 on some of the smaller time frames to hold, and try to hold this for 2 hours. I think this thing is gonna probably try to hold. Won't be released until 2 hours. I gotta wait to get the confirmations. Can't release these out. Actually, I could probably release these. Kind of looks like a reversal. Man, you know what? Let's leave that alone. Let's focus. All right, QQQ. You already know. Same thing with NQ on the 2 hour. It kind of follows suit with the same thing. 2 hour QQQ, bam, get under that 560. What do we got? 566, 567. So we could get some like right now. You see how it's pushing up? They're sweeping the liquidity. They're like, where else can we hit some of these sell side stop losses, right? They're trying their best. But what if it doesn't get all the way up into 670? And that's where the fun starts. They got to get out the way. And by them getting out the way, it creates momentum to go back down in continuation. All right, let's see. Tesla, fine dining. Very expensive for you to try to do this because this already hit TP2 from an overnight play. If there's more people that took their money off the table because of the overnight play than you trying to short it here, this can be a bull trap. All right, so just be careful here as we try to push to this downside. Let's go to Coinbase. Now, Coinbase annoys the crap out of me. I don't understand why it was at $200 in the first place. I shorted it when it was at like 150. I got beat up a little bit on it, had to cut, lick my wounds and everything else. It is what it is. But now, where it is right now, is everything that I thought I was going to do from 150. They're doing it from 200. There's about a $50 drop here. So this was kind of annoying. Where does it go from here? I think it's been extended quite a bit. I think I'm going to try to give it another bounce over here. So just be careful here. But I would love to see Coinbase come down and test 150 again. And our TP is at 155. So TP2 is probably going to be around that 150. IWM is self-explanatory, especially with the 5 minute. You already know what's going on over there. We already talked about the TP. It's probably going to get to 244. TP is at 243. So it might be building a base just so that way they could get that 244 for the higher time frames to liquidate their position and lock in their profits. CBX. This is fine dining as well. 2 hour. Here we go. Got 2 hours until this is done, but it looks like we're doing something that looks a little bit something like this. 210, 51, above that. Bullish. Shout out to those that went ahead and played it to 211 because that thing looked like it did a nice little move. Look for that thing to get to 214 if it gets above that 211. Sorry, 210, and give it some momentum. Here is MU, and this is our last one, and we'll tap out after this. It is right home, right here, and we're going to go ahead and try to see if we can get this nice little push up. Now, this is all possibly just profit taking of all the puts overnight. That's probably why we're doing this. Does not guarantee that anything is going to be in fruition for this to continue to the upside. So just be careful with this move. So that way you don't end up catching, what would they call that? Catching knives. This went white on me. IWM just came in again. Let me switch that. Get back to black. All right. Yeah. So IWM just went ahead and said, hey, it's time to go long. That could be the trap. All right. That said, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell button. I'm going to attempt to do this every day in the hour. This is Get Rich or Fit Trying, which is a trading. I don't know what I'm going to bring back before you take the trade. Everything's kind of locked into that PC as far as my templates, my videos, and everything else, especially my intro. I love my intro. But I'm going to start to get back on the horse and give y'all quality content. So keep an eye out for that. And I thank you for taking the time and watching me. Follow me, JD_the Great, on both YouTube and as well Instagram. And the Trading Journal is out. Actually, let's take one look at that trading journal. It's something I'm very proud of because I love music. I think most of the most repetitive things that can happen is by understanding it from a musical standpoint. I know I have a lot of plays, and yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not your normal album, but I would say I love it. I listen to it quite frequently. Maybe it's me that's all these 35 plays. Who knows? 200 the level is one of my favorites. Just keep myself in line in the market and staying objectively driven. So check out the album. And I want to say thank you again, and I'll see y'all next week. Saturday is mindset. If you want more information on mindset, join the Discord. Links down in the description. You have a wonderful day. Bye bye.